A couple of hours south of the border, beneath the surface of the Sea of Cortez, is a war for a fish referred to as the cocaine of the sea. It's so valuable, the trafficking of the fish is controlled by organized crime. In 2017, I showed you how cartels poaching this illegal fish were in the process wiping out other sea life and bringing the world's smallest whale to the brink of extinction. And just 2 weeks ago, the decision of an international committee dealt a major blow to the imperiled Vaquita. Before we tell you about the latest developments, we want to take you back and show you some of the story explaining what's at stake and how close we are to the end of a species. The world's smallest whale, found only in one place on Earth, the upper Gulf of California. The Vaquita, the world's most endangered marine mammal. Victim to the estimated 2,000 illegal gill nets weighted below the surface of the Sea of Cortez.
If it can't get up to the surface to breathe, it's going to drown really quickly.
This porpoise is an unintended catch in the multi-million-dollar black market business for a fish called the tatuaba.
All they want is one part of that fish. It's called the swim bladder.
The tatuaba swim bladder is a delicacy in China. It's thought to have medicinal powers, making it more valuable than gold.
They basically cut open the fish, take that organ out, and then they discard the rest of the fish.
Each swim bladder brings poachers up to $5,000. Some, like these, are confiscated at border checks, but countless others make it through, smuggled by Mexican criminal organizations from the waters off San Felipe to China.
When the organized crime networks can make so much money off a single fish, it makes it more lucrative than drugs. And it's been called the cocaine of the sea.
San Diego marine veterinarian Dr. Cynthia Smith recently led Vaquita CPR, the largest operation ever conducted to save a marine mammal from extinction. In the joint effort between Mexico and the U.S., 90 of the world's best marine experts attempted something never before tried: to capture, protect, and when it's safe in the Gulf, release the threatened porpoise back into the sea. A mission that found them up against an armed and organized cartel, aware that the Sea Shepherd working alongside the research team was there to remove the gill nets.
These guys are really rushing into their panga.
Coming on top of them now.
They're doing something at the side of their boat.
That's a rifle. I heard gunshots.
We were getting threats from a part of the fishing community that just didn't want us there.
Vaquita CPR continued its work, escorted by a U.S. private security team.
Oh yeah, what is that right there? You guys see those animals?
Oh, yeah.
Smith and her team closed in on a female Vaquita. From the time the animal was taken on board the boat,
no one's actually ever held a live Vaquita.
To arriving at the Vaquita CPR rescue base, her vitals were monitored. They named her Esperanza, Hope. But soon it became clear she would not accept the care of humans, and the team moved quickly to release her.
Go, girl, go.
As they did, she suffered cardiac arrest.
She's circling back. There's a heartbeat, guys. Come on, just give me the oxygen. Come back to me. Come on, Mama.
All efforts to save her failed. A devastating blow to the hope of protecting the animal from certain death in the wild.
De Vaquita Marina murió horas después del rescate.
Fishing season in the Gulf started in January. It runs through May.
We tried to buy them more time, but it just didn't work. Our only hope now is to eradicate the threat. And if we don't, it will not only be the end of the Vaquita, but the entire Sea of Cortez.
Earlier this month, an international committee gave the green light for farming and trade of captive bred Totoaba, and in doing so may have condemned the last few remaining Vaquita to extinction. CITES, the Committee on International Trade in Endangered Species, voted to allow a Mexican aqua farming company to trade farm Totoaba, despite efforts by the U.S. and Israel to reject the application. This now opens the international trade of Totoaba for the first time in almost 50 years. Andrea Crosto, the founder and executive director of Earth League International, who has fought the illegal fishing of Totoaba for 7 years, tells me this not only complicates enforcement of poached Totoaba in the Sea of Cortez, but it will also increase demand for the wild fish and seal the fate of the Vaquita.
This is the final nail on the coffin of the Vaquita. So only 8-10 individuals are left in the wild in the Sea of Cortez. So we're really talking about the very, very last Vaquitas on Earth. And apparently the Mexican government and the fishing industry in Mexico want the Vaquita extinct. It would be easier for everyone.
During this past year, the Mexican government also lifted the fishing ban in the Vaquita refuge, but the Sea Shepherd continues the fight at sea. Earth League International is now the only organization on land trying to fight Totoaba poaching by targeting the traffickers themselves. While Crosto's organization is gathering information and providing it to law enforcement, he says traffickers continue to make millions. He calls the certain fate of the Vaquita an epic failure of conservation on the backs of both public and non-governmental organizations.
We put more than $100 million in 12 years, a lot of money, and we couldn't save the rarest marine mammal in the world that lives 5-6 hours driving from Los Angeles. Vaquita doesn't live in the middle of nowhere, not in the jungle of Congo or in the remote Pacific island. It's around the corner, and yet we couldn't save it. We couldn't save the Vaquita.
Earth League International has identified what they call Totoaba cartels in Mexico, and they are working with law enforcement on both sides of the border. But we do have a glimmer of hope to report tonight. Yesterday, I spoke with the Sea Shepherd director in Mexico, and not only has the crew seen 7 to 8 adult Vaquitas, but they have also confirmed a calf. Even under these circumstances, a baby is a sign of hope. And we have put an entire section about the Vaquita on our website, along with government agencies to contact to voice your concern on 10news.com.